Live.
I'm a mess.
All right. Morning, guys. It's Jeff. Got the Scummer. I've got a couple of guests on at the moment. Got Jen from Jen's Little Corner and Critical Cripple Dave is in with me. Now, point this today is we're hopefully going to play a bit of Quiplash. Fortunately, we've only got the three of us at the moment, so anyone wants to join, hit me up, whatever. I've sent the link out to a few people, but anyone wants to join, we'll get a game going. But otherwise, we'll probably just have a chat until that's until we can get enough people in to hopefully have a game. So guys, what did you get up to over the weekend? Get out much?
Not really. Bit of shopping that needed to be done. Finally got some toilet paper, which was amazing.
Which was amazing.
It's amazing that I got toilet paper. Yes, it was amazing.
Yeah. I was
it's dreadful you gotta say that.
You do.
Yeah. So yeah, it's, you know, want to get out, go to the beach, meet people, you know. Oh wait.
I have a very inappropriate question.
Yeah.
A terribly inappropriate question.
Please ask it.
Did you giggle last night, Jeff?
Me? What? When?
When we got, not you, Jeff.
Jeff, I was going to say.
When we got the Boris Johnson news.
I do not like the man, okay? I really do not like the man, but I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
How sick is he?
He's in hospital, I know that much.
It's ridiculous. He's obviously sick. He's sicker than they're letting on.
I think
there's absolutely no way they would admit him for tests. What?
No, that's not how that works.
Weird, elaborate fucking PR exercise that you say how wonderful and how much they help.
Hey, you could end up with more prime ministers in a short space of time than we did.
Yeah, it's heading that way.
We shouldn't laugh at that. That's actually not funny.
But fine. He just resigns because he's not up to the job. But he could have done that weeks ago.
Oh,
yes, I agree.
Oh, is that just come through? Is it? Because I'm not up to the news. I'm really not up.
No. I was speculating.
Yeah.
Well, he may have to, depending on how sick he is. So
no, not really. But we're not. We're geared up for sick people. Just someone else takes over temporarily, and
yeah. I think it's that Dominic Raab or whatever supposed to take over, isn't it? If anything happens to Boris, I think.
Is he better or worse?
Yeah. Well, depends on how it depends on what sort of scale you want to judge Tories by. Really, you know, it's just.
Well, there are obviously some good ones.
Yeah,
Tories. Well, the problem is the Tory party is split into two factions. Well, split into lots of factions, but two key factions. And the problem is that the decent ones now are massively outweighed by the very.
So you've got the centrists and the far right, basically, and the right.
Yeah,
basically. Yeah. Not far right, no, because they're not far right.
No, but the right wing of the party is probably the right way to describe it.
Yeah, that'd be the.
I mean, the problem is the Tory party lost its soul in the 80s.
It had a soul.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it wasn't necessarily what you call good, but the point being, the Tory party was made up prior to the 80s. The Tory party had the aristocracy. Right, and the aristocracy had at its core a sense of responsibility for all its negatives. It had a sense of responsibility. The aristocrats within the Tory party, they took care of their communities. They might not have given a shit about anyone else, but their communities, their towns, their villages, they gave a damn and they took personal responsibility for what happened in them. Right, and the problem is Thatcher, as well as gutting the centrists, she also gutted the aristocracy from the party. So all of a sudden, the only people that were left in the Tory party were the ones that were for very much for individual responsibility, and the capitalists. And I don't think she would be pleased with where the Tory party went.
No, probably not.
I just read what you said to me in chat, Dave. Of course I've got blood. What I'm lacking is red blood cells.
So then, what is blood without red blood cells?
Plasma and white blood cells.
Yeah.
I still have red blood cells. I've just got a reduced amount because I have pernicious anemia.
Yeah.
So,
Are we
but
eating nails?
no, because with pernicious anemia, taking an extra iron doesn't help. You don't process it. So you have to increase B12 so that you process the iron that you get in your diet better.
Got you.
But you can't take too much B12 or you screw up your white blood cells. It's a fucking tightrope. But I've got to the point where I'm starting to get nerve damage. So they're going to have to keep a lot better eye on me. So thrilling, but at least it's early days, so it should be manageable.
I have a funny tweet to read. If you want it.
You do?
No,
Please read it.
This girlfriend chatting about her ex-girlfriend. Worst kiss ever. It was like being licked by a hungry chihuahua. I responded, do you ever wonder what she will tell a future girlfriend about you? She responds, the shrine with photos of me surrounded by candles and a prayer mat should answer any questions about any future girlfriend.
Who tweeted that? Hey, Elia.
Maiden Sarah.
Yeah. Oh, Elia in the chat, is she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Elia's in the chat. She's
Elia,
probably only just got up, though.
Okay. You're welcome to join, Elia, because we want to get a couple more in for some quiplash if you're interested. So,
Quiplashing.
and by the way, Elia, can I just say something? If you are going to have Girl Defined in Paul and Morgan videos on the Uncalled For, give us a heads up first so that I can get a vomit bag ready. Future reference. Talk about some of the cringiest.
See, that's something else I haven't watched yet.
What's that?
The Uncalled For.
Oh, yeah. It was like a couple of the videos. They had a Girl to Find video and a Paul and Morgan. Oh, it is. Yeah, we thought you just sort of woken up, but yeah.
No, sleep was way more important last night than watching anything at all.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But I mean, okay, they're videos. They are videos that need debunking because there's a couple of channels with quite large followings, and they put out some quite awful stuff. But I just find them too cringy to watch. You know.
That's why you just start watching and you get upset about them, but you make sure you got your facts straight.
Yeah.
When you're going to do a debunk.
Well, there is the Girl to Find drinking game, but I'm a bit reluctant to promote it because it could really put you in hospital, and that is take a drink every time Kristen goes, mm-hmm.
Oh, now that's what we wanted to do. Not so much that, but when we do Ray Comfort, we want to do a fundamentalist bingo.
Yeah. You could easily do it like.
When we do Ray Comfort, wow, that just sounds so wrong. Gonna do me some Ray Comfort.
He knows how to use a banana.
Yeah.
I wonder if he has a gag reflex.
Right.
Bad question.
But yeah. Hey, True Tech. I'll just say that if you want to put a link in there or something in case anyone does want to join. But sent the link around, but it was a bit short notice. I just needed a break from what I was doing, to be honest. So I was just saying. Yeah, cheers, Jem. So hopefully we want to get a couple more in so we can get a game of Quiplash going if anyone wants to join. So, I needed to take a. I was just saying to Jem before you came into the call, Dave. I'm doing a bit of research into Scientology's Narcanon program. Do a bit of a debunk on that. So, but I thought I'd be able to just look through that and put something out today. Then I was looking through it, I think I'm going to have to take a couple of days to actually look into this before putting the video out. So
digest it properly.
Yeah.
Dave?
Yeah.
Oh, you are still in this.
Yeah, no, I was responding to someone else, but I'm at the wrong volume.
Yeah. For the Did you ever guys ever see Jacqueline Glenn's parody of Girl to Find that she did with her ex-boyfriend? That was quite funny.
Yeah.
That was funny.
I think Jacqueline called Girl Defined thingy Morgan and what's her?
Morgan, yeah, Morgan.
Well, I think she called Morgan very well.
Yep.
I mean, to go from what she was to be what she is now, that smacks of.
The problem is, I think she might be wrong about. I think she is right about 90% of it. I think she might be wrong about Paul.
I don't know that Paul's necessarily a terrible person that she's painted him to be, but yeah, he's not the best influence on Morgan.
No, I think Morgan got broken.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she has admitted to that to some degree.
Morgan,
I think has got mentally scarred, and Paul has filled a hole. And that's
I'm not sure that it was Paul that broke her.
No, I don't think it was. That's the point.
No.
That's my point. I don't think it's Paul that broke her.
Which is why she's not going to see where she's at the moment. That she's.
No. I don't know that something structured and safe.
Yeah. And I mean, as somebody who's been in an abusive relationship, I totally get that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Not that I necessarily think Paul's overtly abusive. He's certainly domineering, but whether that's equating to abuse is a stretch without actually knowing them.
I'm just seeing what True Tech's been saying in the chat there. Been thinking of creative ways to try and torment Scientologists, and then someone blasted that big light. So, yeah, I did actually see that. That someone projected the word "sucks" right onto that big blue building underneath the big Scientology logo. I'm going to say True Tech. I don't know if you have you seen it, but I did actually have Chris Shelton on my channel about a month or so ago, which was a very good interview. I was quite pleased how that came out because I haven't really done many interviews, but
it's always worth picking on Scientologists.
They're just definitely. The point is they're always the bad guy. It's not hard when the bad guy is easily identifiable.
That's right, because they're basically assholes. You know, not all other religious leaders in that are dead set assholes. I mean, Kent Hovind is, but Ray can be an asshole, but he isn't all the time. And I'd say the same with Ken Ham.
Do you think Ray believes?
I have my doubts on Ray Comfort, whether how genuine
I think Ray is a genuine Christian. I don't know if he is genuinely a young earther.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think Kent's a Christian. I don't think Kent believes any of it.
I don't think Kent believes in anything at all.
I think, to be honest, like Kent Hovind hadn't found young Earth creationism, the guy would be a fucking used car salesman, and that's it.
Oh no, I don't think he would. I think he'd just be another scammer. I think he'd be into fucking pyramids. I think he'd be into fucking I think he would be a con man regardless.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's all he is.
He is a con man.
He's a dangerous con man.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't care who he hurts in his con.
What I do wonder, though, is just whether he's convinced himself of his own bullshit, though. That's what I do wonder.
Well, what gets me is I think he's convinced Eric, which is interesting.
Oh, Eric's a true believer.
Because when you get most preachers that are ferment, there is a problem. It is talked about in hushed tones. Okay, there is a problem within evangelicalism. The kids tend to reject the religion. Right, the preachers tend to reject the religion outright when they get old enough, right? And it's talked about in very hushed tones because it damages them when they talk about it. How can you bring up a kid within this environment and then outright reject it and say that it's wrong? And the fact that Eric believes so genuinely, I think, makes it very telling that he isn't a typical that Kent is not a typical evangelical believer preacher. I don't think Eric's kids are going to believe. I think they will leave in the same way that as the pattern holds.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of feel sorry for Eric because he's been indoctrinated in such a way that he really actually does believe what he says.
Yeah. I mean, Eric's a bit dishonest in his own right. I mean,
there's definitely dishonesty on Eric's part, but I don't know. Well, yes, there is. He definitely plays the game.
Yeah.
But
because the thing I noticed with Eric a few years ago, he seemed to try and get away from like just parroting what his dad said, and started to try and go into like precept stuff because he got very in with like Psi 10, didn't he, for a few years, and then I don't think they're sort of working together as much at the moment. I'm not quite sure what's going on. What's going on there?
The problem is, precept is not argument. You can't argue against precept without precept.
Yeah.
I mean, the correct solution to Psi and anyone else, if you're actually in a debate with them, is to presuppose something else that's just as fucking... You presuppose that the universe always exists and that logic comes from the universe. There's your argument. He can't argue against you in the same way you can't argue against him.
Yeah, much the same way as Chris did to Darth Dawkins with saying he'd become a
Hindu. Yeah,
yes,
a Hindu.
The problem with that is that doesn't help the people that follow that person. It doesn't offer a productive debate that might leave someone else out. It might be entertaining.
It's certainly entertaining.
Oh no, I didn't mean. I didn't mean Chris. That was very entertaining. But I meant if you were arguing precept for precept.
Yeah.
Well, with Darth though, it's like you. I mean, because I could see what you got to do something like that with Darth Dawkins, because he's not interested in discussions. And he's interested in trying somehow to try and make atheists look bad. Is what he's trying to do.
Yes.
Yeah. He's disingenuous in everything he does.
Yeah.
I mean, at least Psi actually believes his own bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think Darth does. I think Darth's just in it for the lols.
I've not seen anybody. The problem is I've not seen that many people that Darth knows. I've seen people turn around and say that Psi is quite nice.
I've heard that from people. Yeah, I've heard that.
Even Shannon said he's really nice to talk to.
Yeah.
Whereas I've never seen anyone say that about Darth.
No.
Yeah, no. I mean, even Aaron Ra said that Psi is actually quite nice to talk to as long as you're not talking precept.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I have heard that from a number of people.
Whereas Darth is just a prick.
Yeah. Yeah, Darth's just disingenuous. He's not interested in having these discussions at all. He's not interested in honest discussions.
I don't understand what he thinks he's doing / achieving.
Well, he's not. None of them achieve anything. The only thing presuppositional apologetics is good for is to convince the flock. It cannot possibly convince anyone else.
That is their aim at the end of the day. They having that aim. You know what you're doing, if that makes sense. And I don't see what Darth is doing. I don't see what he hopes.
Because he doesn't have a flock.
He doesn't have a flock. He's not talking to anyone that believes. Not one of his arguments are going to convert someone that doesn't believe.
I'm just posting the link to the chat in the chat again, so in case anyone wants to join, because we're hoping to get a game of Quiplash going. Okay, so I want to get, so if there's anyone in there who does fancy joining us, this wasn't what we planned on, but I'd say it's still a good conversation. You know, I'm not knocking it. But
it's too early for this sort of conversation, the problem.
Well, it depends where you are. It depends where you are. It's not that early for Jen.
So are we going early on the quiz tonight?
Yeah, the quiz is in about an hour. I'll do the tweets shortly.
Yeah,
got to remember the older clocks went forward here in the UK about a week ago. So
yeah, that's why I'm picking it back.
Yeah. So Amanda didn't hop in.
I don't know if she saw the message or not. I did send it to her, so I'm not even sure if she's seen the message, to be honest. So she's normally up for hopping onto things like this. But she might want to rest for it today though, because she was quite busy yesterday on, wasn't she? So she might want to break. Yes, I don't know.
Her like Diana spent even more time, because Diana did her stream, then sat in the chat for Crypt Bitches and watched Math Pig, and then streamed all the post shows. Was on all the after shows, and her after show didn't end until 2 PM my time.
How long did Diana go for?
Sorry?
How did they end up on Diana's?
I don't know, because Jim wanted another stream to be on.
He didn't want it to end.
He didn't want it to end. That's what it was all about. Jim didn't want it to end. He wanted to keep going. I jumped on after I got back from the doctors and with Diana, but Jim had already left by then. So it was me and Nutcha talking to Diana. So that was fun.
Yeah, that's all that.
Which is interesting because
I'm just going to address something True Tech said in the chat. I don't know that I would necessarily encourage people to do that. And this is a mockery, chips away at religious narcissism. I don't know if I necessarily would encourage people to do that.
Troll them on Twitter instead, because they troll everyone else. I wouldn't troll their YouTube channels because it encourages them to do it in return.
Yeah. The problem is, I disagree in that it definitely works, but it just doesn't work all the time.
Yeah.
Not the trolling, but the mockery. If you ridicule someone, it is one of the key ways to get them to actually question their belief.
Yes, it is also a good way to get them to dig their fucking heels in.
It is. This is why it's important to not do it. This is why it's not. But it's one of those things that I've seen people try and get no one to do, and the problem is sometimes it's the only way to get past the defense.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That's why we do. That's why we do. Debunking videos where you actually mock the person who has the really, really dumb idea.
Well, the point is, it's like it's if you legitimize young Earth creationism if you don't laugh at it.
Yeah.
If you believe that the Earth is 6,000 years old. If you do not ridicule that belief, right? That's insane, because the idea is insane. Okay? Yeah, you're not ridiculing the key belief. You're not ridiculing Christ. You're not ridiculing a God. You're not ridiculing what is meant to be the key part of their belief.
Well, a similar thing with flat Earth.
Idea, flat Earth. Flat Earth needs to be ridiculed, not because
definitely
not because it's wrong, but because it's ridiculous.
And it's the same for young Earth creationism. It's the same for UFO abductions. But I don't like to ridicule the people who think they've been, because they obviously believe it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it obviously hasn't happened. There'd be physical evidence if there was UFO abductions, and there is none.
Always remind me.
I've got less of an issue with that. I think ridiculing in that situation is a bit weird. Ridicule someone that believes it, that doesn't have a personal anecdote is one thing.
Yes, that is where I would agree.
If you think you've been abducted by aliens, ridiculing that belief is wrong.
No, I agree, because as well, like I said, the belief is real, even if the thing that happened isn't.
Yes.
You cannot take that away from the person. For them, that experience really happened, regardless of what was the cause of that experience. For them, it happened.
Yes.
Whether it's a delusion, whether or not we're wrong, and some aliens do like coming and abducting people and using anal probes.
I mean, I would say right now that the reason that Christianity is going further evangelical in the States is going to the more extreme side of Christianity is down to them successfully encapsulating their communities. They have successfully isolated them from other opinions until kids are old enough that they cannot comprehend any other possibility, and that's why.
Which is why apologetics is all about keeping the flock. It's not about converting new people, because if you keep your flock, you will convert their children.
Yes.
So the growth is through breeding. It's not through bringing new people in. If you happen to get a new person, that's all well and good, but that is not the aim. I mean, young Jehovah actually said it. Eric actually said it himself. We're not here to convert you.
No.
Because they know they can't.
No. It's why I absolutely love talking to the kids. I haven't seen him do it since, or if he has, I wonder if he blocked me. I haven't seen it, because he went to a school and he wanted atheists to talk to kids on Facebook via live chat, which I thought was iffy in its own right. And I refused to answer their questions and just spent my time asking them questions. And basically he ended up going round. He ended up going round firefighting all their questions because that's all I did. I just kept asking questions of them when all they wanted to do was ask about atheism. Yeah, they wanted to use the typical apologetic lines against atheism.
Yeah, what they've been taught, or what? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, because they get taught responses, and for most people, for anybody who's an atheist but actually hasn't researched why they're an atheist, they're not going to have the answers.
No, I mean this is why Ray manages to find so many people that will appear well on his videos. The problem is, again,
people who are non-religious, but
sorry, our entire society helps religion, because we refuse to admit that what we are. Yeah, everyone is taught that they should say when they're asked, not taught in the thingy sense, but taught by repetition, that when you're asked if you lie, you say no. When you're asked if you're dishonest, you say no, because these things are considered principle, right? And the church then uses that to right. Or if you have a society that says that nobody is fucking perfect, everyone lies, everyone is dishonest, okay? What we do is we strive to rise above those things, right? But now, the church uses those imperfections that no one can, because no one can fucking live up to perfection, as a way to get people in. You know, it drives me nuts that society can be so dishonest with it as a society. It can be so dishonest, and that's where religion gets its hold.
Yeah.
It's like the whole thing with sex and thinking everyone has sexual thoughts. So we turn around and say that they're a perversion, and church is the solution to that.
I was just seeing what True Tech was saying in the chat there. Right. With death threats too. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, well, some of the apologists and that are pretty disgusting people.
Yeah.
SJ still hasn't blocked me.
Why not?
You know, up your game here, Jen.
I told her she was
not me.
Okay, I could say something insulting. Well, I could repeat what Peter said.
What was that?
She only blocks people she thinks are more intelligent than her.
Oh yes, I saw that. Well, she threatened to block me, but then didn't. But the issue she was blocking me on was something I'd already shown that she was wrong about, and if she'd actually blocked me over it, she would have proved herself to be the bigot I'd called her. So she backed herself into a corner.
I mean, she blocked me for calling her a liar twice.
Yeah, I called her a liar the other day.
Yeah, I haven't been blocked by, but I haven't really engaged with her too often anyway. On the other hand, so
the problem is it's hard to follow her tweets and not engage because of some of the shit she comes.
Oh, God,
tell me about it. She's so dumb and horrible. Some of the stuff she talks about is just SJ. How can you possibly? Well, I don't know if she actually thinks the way that she tweets. I think she's a little disingenuous.
Right now, there is only one channel that I have issues going in because of their mods, and that's Modern Day Debates.
Oh, yeah, I have major problems with them.
Mm.
Oh, and it's toxic. The chat in Modern Day Debates is fucking toxic.
Well, have you been in recently? It has got better since it's still not wonderful, but it's better than it was. Mathpig had... I've forgotten his name. No, it's gone. Had the guy in from Modern Day Debates.
Sergeant? No,
the guy that runs it.
James.
Oh yeah. James. Yeah.
And in the after party, we kind of laid into him about how toxic it was, and he made quite a few good changes.
Yeah.
On the back of that, he got rid of a load of mods, and he probably, I've got to say, if he's going to run a debate channel, he needs to get better at moderating than he is. Quite frankly, if you're going to run that kind of channel.
I mean, regardless of what your belief in something is, you have to be impartial as a moderator. Yeah, which is something Jay did amazingly well with Chris and Darth Dawkins. I was really proud of Jay for that. I was like,
I don't know. I think he came down to. I think he was too. I think he was too biased towards Chris.
You do?
Yeah.
Marginally, yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. So was I.
Yeah.
I had no problem because of what the debate was.
Yeah.
And I think if it had been a proper debate, I'm saying a proper debate, but a debate between two honest interlocutors, I think Jay would have been completely impartial regardless of his beliefs.
Oh yeah, I do think there was an element that Jay was going to want to be seen as impartial, but he didn't care if he wasn't.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, I've got to admit, I would find it a little bit difficult to be impartial with Darth. I've got to be honest, but then I think even if you are, you do have to kind of. He's probably the guy you have to crack down on more than anyone, generally speaking.
Yes. I want to try and get. I've got to write something, which is not happening at all at the moment. But and then I want to do a debate, but I need to with Darth on. I want to try a format that might control him, which means I'll only get.
If it doesn't work,
then but the point is, it's basically self-moderation because you limit the time that someone can have. I don't know.
He likes to be the one asking the questions. I've noticed that a lot with him.
Well, that's because he doesn't have any answers.
Yeah.
Shit, 2 seconds.
He likes to ask questions to trip people up, is what he tends to do.
He has the Hovind system of Gish Gallop as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually think the Gish Gallop should be renamed the Hovind Hop, because I think Dwayne Gish may have invented it, but Hovind perfected it.
Did he though? I mean, everyone knows what Hovind is doing. It's not.
Yeah.
There's nothing clever in it. Well, that's true. But yeah. Not the.
Well, I don't think if you saw the one between Hovind and Professor Dave on Modern Day Debate. I mean, and Professor Dave, by his own admission, doesn't do a lot of debates, and there was definitely, I think there's definitely some things I felt, he got a little bit too wound up at certain places, but he really tore into Hovind. He's like he didn't really even know who Hovind was, but he was asked to do a debate with him and watched about a couple of Kent Hovind's debates and instantly clocked Kent Hovind for the dishonest charlatan that he is. So Professor Dave went and tore into Kent Hovind. He actually, if people think Aaron Ra tore him to Kent on a non sequitur show, but no, nowhere near what Professor Dave did.
But Aaron was just drunk. Aaron
was very good on that particular one, because even though Aaron he tore into him, he kept it very much to the science, the whole thing. But he was like no, but he was saying to us, no, I'm not going to let you run your fucking script here,
Yeah, but then Hovind turns that around and says, "Oh, that means I won because you were yelling at me."
Yeah. Well,
so for his followers, they see it that way.
You ever known him or anyone to claim a defeat ever? Would they ever admit to being beaten in a debate? Any of them, they'll never admit to it.
A lot of people don't like admitting to being defeated in a debate.
Yeah, I've seen atheists who would be the same. I'm not going to. I'll be totally honest, but
although I will grant that Richard Carrier actually admitted to losing a debate to a creationist.
Yeah,
he knows how to debate. That's the problem. He knows he's gone into several debates, assuming that the other person was going to be honest and within the terms of the debate. And he has repeatedly gone up against someone he's gone in to discuss the resurrection, and the person spent the entire time talking about fucking presuppositionalism, and he's lost the debate because he's gone in to talk about the resurrection.
Yeah. Which shouldn't be the case, actually. If they're not actually debating the topic, they shouldn't win it.
No, entirely. But when you're debating on their terms, which we almost always are, because that's the only way that we can actually talk to these people.
But you'll notice this all the time, though, with whether it be creationists, flat earthers, very much similar. They'll be always like coming away claiming victory, no matter how badly they've come off,
And they usually come off bad.
Well, they've lost they've lost badly though when their own people are telling them you were awful. Which is what happened to JM Truth recently when he did a debate with Red's Rhetoric, and he just got absolutely, even other flat earthers were saying you don't put JM up against these guys, don't, because he just gets he got beaten so badly. It was it was brilliant from our standpoint to watch something like that. But if you're a flat earther, you're probably watching that thinking, "Oh my God, is this the best we've got?"
Well, there's not much difference between them at that level, is there?
No.
It's actually pretty dreadful how dumb they all are. Could have been worse. Could be Gigantor.
Yeah. There is a real strain of Dunning-Kruger effect that goes through flat Earth. A lot of the main bigger name flat earthers. Just sheer arrogance. For sheer arrogance, I don't know anyone who's more bloody arrogant than Subarats.
Yeah, Subarats.
Who is? He's disgusting.
Yeah, he's an arsehole.
He's an arse. He's a complete arse.
There is no topic he won't be a prick about.
Yeah.
Which is saying something. But let's face it, Mark Sargent was a complete and absolute twat.
But again, I think he is exposed as being someone that is, again, dishonest. I don't think he believes the world is flat.
I think he knows.
Oh, I don't either, but there was other shit he was quite prepared to say that was even worse than his flat Earth assertions, wasn't there? So.
But do you think he believes any of that? I don't know. Maybe he fucking does.
Oh, I don't know that he believes in anything. He believes in the color of money.
Thing with Mark Sargent is he is in a position where he's actually kind of making a living off of flat Earth right now.
Yes.
Even if he knows it's bullshit, he cannot come out and say that it's bullshit. His meal ticket goes away like that if he says, yeah, this is all bullshit. If he wasn't making, I think if he wasn't in a position where he actually made money or whatever, or from this anymore, or had nothing to gain from it, he'd probably just come out and say it's all bullshit. But he's got a vested interest in flat Earth now. But you know,
yeah.
True Tech, yeah, it's all grifters and the snake oil salesman. Yes, yeah, Mark Sargent's a grifter, in my opinion. I think he knows what he's saying is bullshit. Right, I did send this out again just in case anyone. It doesn't seem like many people are around.
No, I think this is the problem Kate had. The mornings are a bit awkward for Quick Place.
I don't really know her anyway, but
yeah, you can get away with it perhaps on the weekends a bit because people are around, but during the week it's a bit harder, even with people in isolation.
Yeah,
especially as a lot of the US people wouldn't even be up yet.
I'll definitely try this again later in the week or something, you know, or on the weekend.
Given the day's going earlier now, I might try to do one after. Not tonight though. Go from quiz into quiplash.
Yeah.
Quizlash.
Quizlash.
Also want to do some poker streams.
Yeah, that'd be a good bit of fun.
Yeah. Well, Hissy wants to, but I've got to figure out a good poker app that will work well to do it with.
What sort of poker?
Texas Hold'em is probably the easiest for anyone to learn.
I'll play Texas Hold'em.
I like Texas Hold'em.
See, I actually have to sort of refresh myself on Texas Hold'em. I actually know like just normal straight poker a lot easier, but then
I have to mute my lunch.
You have to mute your lunch.
Let's see what True Tech's saying in the chat. You think he's the True Tech's the only person in the chat right now? I think that.
I don't know how many people are in chat at the moment.
Yeah.
Let's do a refresh and see. 4. Yeah. Yeah, there is because there's us and True Tech.
Yeah, pretty much. But. Oh, that's the wrong one. I was gonna.
What sort of country are you in, True Tech?
I'm guessing. It sounds like I'm guessing United States. He's doing EST, but. Oh, he's Canadian.
Canada. Ontario. So where's Shannon?
Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia, that's right.
Yeah, I know.
Because she's in AST, so she's in Atlantic Standard Time.
Yeah, she's
She's cool. I like Shannon.
Yeah, I've got a Canadian friend that so you actually said that it's generally Nova Scotian is when they'll sort of you know, sort of just like say the words like about, they'll say a boot, and I thought that's totally Shannon definitely says that, you know, that's definitely Shannon's accent.
Well, you're talking about Shannon.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd hate to be on stream with her and actually do that to her.
I'm not brave enough.
No, that's not the problem. I'm one of those people who, if I'm around somebody if I'm talking with somebody long enough, I start adopting some of their accents.
Yeah.
I do it on a jokey chat.
So, what was that?
I do it on a jokey chat stream or an after party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, an after party. Oh, yeah, I joke with her about it. I wouldn't do it in a serious stream.
Yeah.
It'd be a bit rude. just a hair rude.
Yeah, I mean that's typical. So there's a guy I used to know years ago. He was he was from Yorkshire or whatever, but he spent a lot of time like in South Africa, and back in like the 60s and 70s. But then every time he would start talking about South Africa, he would start talking like South African kind of accent. You know, he would just every time. So I can't really do it, but. That's the reason I don't try not to do people's accents, but
yeah, no, not my thing.
True Tech saying his parents had the English accent thing, which is a bit weird because we got a lot of different accents over here at True Tech. So,
would you believe that I'm from the roughest area of the country?
See, I wouldn't, but for the fact that you've actually mentioned it to me before.
I mean, I'm from the nice area of the roughest area of the country.
Yeah.
So, what, Liverpool?
Yeah.
A Liverpudlian.
Not really. You know there's a famous song called "Ferry Across the Mersey."
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Right.
So you're across the Mersey.
We're across the Mersey.
Yeah, I know
where the ferry's going.
I'm in the south of England, True Tech. Yeah, I'm very much on the south coast. So, although a lot of people think that I come from the west country part of England because I seem to have that twang, but I've never lived anywhere in that part of the world ever. I've got no family from that.
No, I wouldn't have thought your accent was the twang.
Yeah.
Oh, he's definitely got a West Country bit to it.
It's an old Hampshire accent, but it's like a sort of thing that's been dying out for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know.
Some of these little local accents do tend to die out.
I mean, obviously, I've got to think a long way back to my experience with different areas of England and accents. So. But yeah, it always amazes me when people go, "Oh, I can't understand this person because of their thick accent." And I'm like, I don't have that problem. Aside from, there's been a couple of people who talk really fast with their accents, and then sometimes it's hard to pick out the individual words. But aside from that, generally speaking, I don't find too much difficulty with accents.
So to say the True Tech, they're glad the monarchs in England somewhat stopped the beheadings. It's probably because we ended up beheading one of them. I think that's why they started to stop that, but went more to hanging afterwards.
Good old Charles.
Yeah.
And then you had to import new monarchs.
Yeah.
Can't make up your minds whether you're a republic or a monarchy.
Yeah, I'm not a big royalist, but I know I'm very much in the minority in this country. So
I'm not a monarchist. I just know that they make, unless you're going to seize all their lands, they make us a fuckload of money.
Well, you know, if we do want to do a revolutionary program, you know, and like seize all the lands, but hey ho, no, I just know
about that.
Nah,
I'm not. If you ask me now whether or not I'm just for getting rid of the monarchy, no. Just because economically, It benefits us. You want
on the other side of that, you wouldn't care if it actually just died out on its own.
No, I wouldn't give a shit. The only thing I like about the monarchy, well, the two things, is tradition. Fair enough, like a bitch.
And money.
I don't care enough. No, I like
big butts in a can. Sorry.
Right now, I think we would be better with a life-elected person that doesn't have to answer to politics, that can say no to government. They can't say yes, they can't do anything power-wise that way, but can say no. And the problem is, I think that our monarchy has lost that power.
This is a weird thing I see there, in that for you guys in England, you don't really have that. And yet, as a Commonwealth country in Australia, our Governor General can do that. Can turn around and say, I'm not signing this.
Does he? She?
It's happened once.
See, I don't know what the standing is of the UK. I think it's technically one of those things that officially, but
technically our government has no power at all.
Yeah, technically speaking, but I don't think any monarch who tried to rule it nowadays without Parliament is not gonna last long.
No, the monarchy will be over the next day.
Yeah. I don't, and I think that I think they're very much aware of it as well. So,
which makes their role pointless. And that. And
well, I think your royals are pointless too, especially for us.
When we kick them out, where do you think they're going to live? In Australia.
Not here. They can go to fucking Canada.
The problem is, they probably would.
What? Go to Canada?
Yeah.
Canada probably have them and all.
Yeah.
I don't know that we would. I think there'd be a public outcry.
What do you call her?
What? The Queen? The Queen? But so the Americans.
You call her the Queen of Australia?
I don't.
No, but in general. See, in Canada, they do. Canada, she's the Queen of Canada.
Oh, no, fuck that.
Right,
she's the Queen of England.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know technically she's the head of the Commonwealth, but we don't see her as the head of Australia. But we still see ourselves as a Commonwealth country. So, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, basically, I think most Australians would accept that there is not a fucking thing that the UK or the Commonwealth could do that would tell us what we had to do.
No.
You just fuck that right off.
No. So I'm just looking at the top. Oh, I've got a while yet. So 1:10. You're starting your quiz, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to be conscious of time. So we're okay at the moment. More than okay.
We even had time for a game if some people showed up. But
yeah.
How disappointing are they? Sorry, True Tech, you're not disappointed.
To be fair, this was kind of this was done sort of last minute. It was I just needed a break. I needed to have a break for an hour or so from that reading about bloody Scientology. To be honest, so
because it does your head in.
It does after a bit, yeah.
I think all that sort of shit does. I was like, what am I reading?
So I think it'd be sometime later this week. I'll do that. So I'm going to release it, hopefully. But the main thing was because I think I said what was it that what's her name, Whoopi Goldberg said something about like where was it? It was like Tony Ortega's blog put it out, but she'd been on some show or something where she sort of was saying recommending Narcanon to, like, if you had the drug issue and whatever. And I'm like, why? I mean, I'm
know Wolfie was a Scientologist.
I don't think she is. I just think I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt that she's just totally naive as to what the fuck Narconon actually is, or thinks it, or might know that it's connected to Scientology, but might think it's more.
So it's one of those things it's one of those things like Alcoholics Anonymous, which is actually a church-based thing, but most people don't realize it.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I don't go after AA in quite the same way, because I can't. They do have produced quite a lot of result. I mean, it's not harmful the way Narconon is, not in any way near as harmful. You know, I don't think anyone's died because of AA's 12-step program that I know
People
of.
have died. Come on. Okay.
Yeah, because it is pure quackery.
Depending how you measure results.
Well, it might have stopped them taking drugs. Yeah, I'll say that much.
No, I mean, I think you could rightfully say that lots of people have died because of AA.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't effectively treated them.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, it works for some people, but because the underlying premise is wrong, it doesn't work for a lot of people. And they refuse to publish their stats for that reason.
Whoopi is a Catholic.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't think she's a scientist. I just think I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. I just genuinely think that she perhaps thinks Narconon's more benevolent than it actually is. I mean, it is effectively, you know, what I've read of it, is absolutely a front to try and get people into Scientology, but it also has it's using some of like those techniques which are dangerous. I mean, like do something called a purification rundown, which part of this is based on that old kind of, that's rather stupid and outdated old notion that you can sweat toxins out of your body.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Putting someone in a sauna for like 4 or 5 hours for a 4 or 5 hour stretch, as you can see some of the problems with this.
Yeah, well, you can kill people doing shit like that.
Yeah, this is the thing.
Dehydration is the thing, people.
It has done this thing, yeah. And it's bunk anyway. You don't sweat toxins out, you know, out of your system like that. It doesn't. That's just bunk. Well, if you're gonna use Narc, you're gonna use something that's just dumb as Narconon. You might have better results from putting leeches on yourself and bleeding yourself. You know, for what good it would do you.
You probably would actually.
Yeah.
At least it might lower your blood pressure.
Yeah. But you gotta remember to leave the leech on until it falls off.
Yeah.
Who was it who told me that the other day? Was that you, Jeff?
No, I don't think so.
Someone did in a stream. Said you have to leave them on until they fall off.
Otherwise, they vomit.
Yeah, because they inject the leech injects the toxin. Well, vomits a toxin, I would assume. Not injects. But...
Vomit, it's full of bacteria. The stuff you get if it you try and rip it off.
Yeah. So we've gone down another rabbit hole.
Yeah, but you see why I needed a break from reading into this stuff, though, can't you?
Oh, drive you batty.
Totally.
At least it's a good video for you to do.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, I knew a little bit about it before because I said read. I actually listened to the audio version, but I went through Chris Shelton's book before I had him on my channel, like just to do a bit of research and prep for that. So, and he did spend sort of a chapter in his book talking mainly about pseudoscience, but he does use Narconon as an example and purification rundown as an example of some of sort of pseudoscientific claims that Scientology makes. It's probably one. It's probably one. Well, I mean, I don't know how you can quantify harmful when it comes to Scientology, because so much of what they do is harmful. To say that any one thing's more worse than the other, but
yeah, I'd agree with you there. So much of it is incredibly harmful. I mean, it's a cult. All cults are harmful.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But this is what I say. I mean, I don't know any other, like, I mean, even though you got people, even people up there in Kent Hovend or whatever, they don't have people. As far as I know, they don't have people out flipping, following and harassing apostates. As far as I know.
Though I wouldn't put that past Kent.
I'm sure if he had, to be honest, if he had the resources to do it, that wouldn't surprise me at all. But I do think, in a certain way, Kent's gotten into his own bullshit a bit, though, over the years. I think he's maybe starting to believe his own scams. So he seems to have got well into this like sovereign citizen nonsense as well.
He's got well into everything.
Yeah.
He's been fingering the butt of the NFIB.
Yeah. Well, he was well, I know he divorced her already, but his second wife, I think he met her at an anti-vax rally. So yeah, he's got into pretty much every kind of nonsense you can think of.
It amazes me he doesn't profess a flat Earth.
Oh, that's the funny thing, though. He ridicules flat earthers, and it's like, I mean, it's like, I'd actually would love to see Kent Hovend debate a flat earther, because it is actually a debate that Kent Hovend could probably win using science. It would be the first and only time ever.
It would depend on the flat Earth.
Yeah.
Kent Hovend versus Mark Sargent.
Yeah.
See who triggers who first.
No, I think Hovend versus Nathan Thompson. That'd be
Yeah, Kent would be triggered first.
Oh no, I think Nathan would be totally. Nathan comes into debate.
Triggered, yes, but he wouldn't rage quit.
Oh, Kent Nathan Thompson. I'm pretty damn sure he has done in the past.
Has he?
I'm pretty sure he has.
Normally he just joins and stays obnoxious from what I've seen.
Yeah.
I don't think he actually
I know he's been kicked. I know he's been kicked. He's been kicked a couple of times just because what I think one time someone came up with a very silly idea of letting him moderate a debate. I've got a feeling, I don't quote me on this, I've got a feeling it might have been Non Sequitur show. They actually had him moderate a flat Earth debate, and they had to kick him because he just wouldn't moderate it fairly at all. I'm like, well, and I'm there thinking, well, what the fuck do you expect? This guy runs a massive Facebook group about flat Earth, and it's supposed to be a flat Earth debate group. Yet anyone who debunks flat Earth gets kicked or muted or kicked from that group. So why the hell would you think he'd be a good moderator?
Yeah,
he runs what's supposed to be a discussion group, and it's a fucking echo chamber for flirfs.
Well, but all their discussion groups are echo chambers.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have much of an, aside from all believing that there isn't any gods, we don't really have an echo chamber because we all argue with each other all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's one of the reasons why there can be so much drama within the atheist community, because we are all so different in the way things we...
What the fuck are you talking about? We never argue.
No, bullshit.
I'm switching to people.
Yeah. Dave's dropped for a sec. Okay.
Yeah, he's going to come back from his.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you think about it. That is the only thing that technically unites us all, is we don't believe in God. It's like it's not much. It's weird. Why in the thing where there's gonna be arguments and splits, and within that, within a community.
That's why there are so many little cliques and so many people who fight at any one time, and somebody says the wrong thing, and there's it's the end of the world. Right. No, this is because there is only one thing that holds us all together, and that's atheism. It's why, like, this. In a sense, a lot of the debunking skeptic community is actually a bit stronger than what the atheist community is, because at least we are all fighting against something that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
The problem is, it's all it's a negative. It's not something most people define. Atheism is not something people define their lives by. They define their lives by other things.
That's right. I mean, honestly, I'd probably define myself as a skeptic first than an atheist.
See, I won't. I refuse to define myself as a skeptic.
Yeah, but only because there's some arsehole skeptics out there.
No, not because there's some arsehole skeptics. I don't think it's something I can live up to.
Oh.
I will define myself as skeptical.
Okay, yes, okay, that's more accurate.
It's probably a better way of putting it, yeah.
I don't define myself as a skeptic. I make fucking leaping conclusions all the fucking time.
The difference is, Dave, usually when you and I make leaping assertions at things, people go, I didn't know that. Is that true? And then my brain goes, hang on, was it? And then I'm second guessing myself because I'm like, did I actually remember that right? Because the way the person said that to me makes me wonder if I did remember it.
Very much so.
Because I'm not an expert in most of the things I talk about. I mean, if we wanted to have a discussion on maths, I probably hold my own. Except it's been a bloody long time since I've done calculus and stuff like that. So
this is what bothers me is I probably know more about most things than most of the people I'm arguing with that aren't experts.
Yeah. But I would agree.
I am honest that I know that I don't know what I'm talking about. I put myself down because of it.
Yeah, I think I find myself in a similar sort of position there, Dave, in that I know a lot. I know I've got a good memory for facts. Figures, but not names and dates. I'm screwing with names and dates. I'm dreadful at that part of it. But I've got a good memory for the facts, the figures, the actual science of something. But even though it's good, I know it's not perfect, and I know I'll fuck it up. And sometimes I've misinterpreted it too because I'm not an expert.
I'm neither am I. I'm not an expert. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not very scientifically minded at all. You know, I didn't even get my GCSE in science. Okay, that's how bad I was. I'm trying to make up a little bit for that now by just trying to educate myself a bit on certain things, but I'm no expert, and I wouldn't claim to be.
See, I'm good at my fields that I like in science, like physics and that, because especially physics. I'm okay at chemistry, but I actually hated chemistry as a subject. Biology, I'm okay. I'll remember shit, but you asked me to go down the deeps and darks on biology, and I start to struggle because it's not really my field. It's not a subject that grabbed my interest in high school and that. So, astronomy, physics, that sort of thing is my thing.
Yeah.
Ooh. So Dave might have to reconnect again. But yeah, I am. I
mean, yes. Well, I mean, it's you know, I'm very honest about the fact that, you know, there are certain, but I think this is the thing that we probably each got something to bring to the table. I think when we're doing what we're doing. Now,
I agree.
I've said before, I think I'm still trying to find exactly what my niche is. I'll be honest.
You hit us with some good history the other night.
Yeah. On that. Yesterday when we were doing that film thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great. I was like, oh wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean, I not, but history is something that does interest me. I'm probably nowhere near as good as someone like Chris is on it, or Hissy, because Hissy's very clued up. But it's something I'm not bad at. It depends on what periods or whatever it is. Because with that, people got their own interests as well.
I'll agree with Tree Tech. Material sciences is very interesting. I have issues with the whole concept of solid state batteries. In that, to get electron flows within a
Dave back
within a solid electrolyte, I'm a bit dubious as to how it can work effectively.
Back, right.
What? No, because my virtual cam hasn't started yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know what Dave thinks about that.
Go on, I missed all of that.
Tree Tech was talking about material sciences and like ways to formulate such things as solid state batteries. I'm a bit dubious of claims of solid state batteries. Yes, because dry electrolytes aren't going to conduct as well as a liquid.
When you get to the point of solid state batteries, are they not really capacitors?
Yeah, well, you're kind of talking about capacitors at that point, but a capacitor is not a battery.
No, it doesn't. The battery has got to store it chemically.
Yeah.
I've seen my hair.
Yeah, you're not dealing with chemical bonds in anything solid state, because you need an electrolyte that's liquid to have those chemical bonds change. If it's a solid, you're not going to have the rate of change within the chemical bonds. So I don't see how you could have but having said that, Tree Tech, there are people who claim to have made solid state batteries, and I'm very dubious of that claim. As in an actual chemical battery that's supposedly solid. So not a electrolyte. So
the problem at the moment, the battery tech is a bit okay. Where the experimental research is at the moment, we have got batteries right now, okay, that are hundreds of times better from an energy perspective than are on the market. Literally hundreds of times better. The problem is they're all much more unstable as well. We haven't. We can store a lot more energy in a much smaller spaces with lots of different things, but doing so in a way that it could be you could drop your phone and it not explode. That's more of a problem.
Well, even lithiums aren't that safe when it comes to that.
Lithium seems to be the limit we're willing to go to.
Yeah, and I mean, I like the move towards sodium-based batteries over lithium.
Well, it's certainly going to be cheaper and easier to source bits.
Safer too. The energy density is not quite as good, but the cost.
How stable? I recall reading a paper about it. How stable are they over time in terms of degradation? Because I mean, lithium at the moment is about 10% a year with normal use.
Yeah, no, I think they've got them to a similar point. The problem is they weigh a little bit more, obviously, because lithium's a lot lighter.
If we can actually have a battery that is eminently swappable,
yes,
we can go for a smaller size. If you can have 3 phone batteries at home,
yeah,
they can sit on a charger that you can switch in and out. I think
I
you can have yeah.
Yeah, I think sodium's a better way to go in the long run, and there's thought that they can get them to similar energy densities to lithium in the future, which I think would be good. They'll still weigh more though, because heavier elements. So
yes,
but I think you could put up with slightly heavier for safer and cheaper.
I missed that. I walked too far away.
I said I think you can put up with slightly heavier for safer and cheaper.
Yes. Well, I think safer. I think we've determined our safety level where we are now. So I wouldn't say for safety, but for cheaper, definitely.
Yeah. Well, no, because I mean, people still don't like the fact that lithiums can explode, whereas sodiums, they're pretty sure won't. So, although having said that, you never know. Well, thorium isn't a battery in that sense. If you go with thorium is just another form of nuclear fission. Yeah, when we're talking about thorium reactors and that.
Mm.
And it's good. The best part about thorium is, of course, you won't get meltdown.
So I just decided I was just editing the name of this stream whilst we're talking, because I just realised we ain't going to get no quiplash in, are we? Here, so
no. Thorium has great promise, but it needs a lot of investment in it to get it where you want to go. Pellet initialized fusion is quite interesting.
Yeah, anything that uses no, I think we need some. No, I'm mixing technologies in my head and magically creating things that don't exist.
Where will you go with that?
I was going to go. We really want to go with liquid crystal salts, and then I said, "What the fuck are crystal salts? Isn't that just salt?"
Oh yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I'm not awake.
Yeah, look. The problem with this, talking about something like cold fusion is you have to get over the bonding, the bonding strength of the nucleus to actually have a fusion, and that requires a lot of energy in the first place. Mm. Yes, it releases more energy than you put into it, but you need the energy there in the first place. So the prospect of actual cold fusion in any, I mean, we can do cold fusion now. What are they called? The ones where they they collide
around solar luminescence.
Yeah, no, not tokamaks, where they're doing them with fuses.
Well, I actually say on the cold fusion thing, because my parents actually used to work at Southampton University when because when Fleischmann was there, who made that I forget the name of the other guy. It was Fleischmann, and they made the claim about having created, cold fusion. Yeah, and it turns out that no, it hadn't. It couldn't be replicated. So that most people think it never happened. But
yeah. Well, no, yeah. There is quantum barriers to this happening.
Yeah.
At that level where you have to overcome the nuclear forces at the core of the atom so that you can combine the atoms.
Right.
You're looking at energy.
I think we might end up finding that what we think of as cold fusion is actually still happening at a very hot temperature, just at a very, very small scale.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's been talk of tepid fusion, where you might using with a mixture of what they do in the fuses and reasonable temperatures, and not the super temperatures that we have to have in tokamaks, be able to achieve fusion in a.
We don't need
more capable of.
What is the temperature required to achieve fusion? It's not that hot, is it?
You're asking. It depends how fast the atoms are moving.
Because I mean, the issue we've got is to make it sustainable and economically take energy out of. That's where you need the massive temperatures, I thought.
Yeah.
I think fusion as a temperature was not.
Oh no! We can do fusions at in the hundreds of degrees.
Yeah.
Where that's how the fuses work, because they're basically like particle guns that just fire the particles into magnetic fields that loop around each other and then collide in the center, which is great, but it takes a fuck ton of energy to make the fusion happen.
Yes. You can't extract energy from it.
No, it takes way more energy to do it than to put in it. But we use it because it's one way that we can produce. It's a cheaper way to produce antimatter that we use in medicine as well. So
the problem is with the sun being true tech. The issue with the sun is because we're on Earth, we don't really understand. We don't have a mental image of how heat actually transfers away from something.
Yeah.
In space, getting rid of heat is a massive problem. It's a much bigger problem. It's the biggest problem we have moving around the solar, doing anything in space, is getting rid of heat.
Yeah.
It's a much harder problem than it is
on Earth.
On Earth. I mean, the amount of effort with the Parker Solar Probe just to keep it cold enough that it can do its observations. And when it even now, it's not going to run out of fuel. It's going to run out of refrigerant. That's what's going to end its life.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like if the sun ended, so we're not getting any radiation from the sun that's warming up the Earth, Earth would stay warm on its surface. I mean, as long as the sun didn't explode when it ended, if it just disappeared, Earth would actually stay warm for several thousand years. I mean, we'd end up with an ice ball Earth, but it'd be warm enough that life would persist.
To say that heat seeks cold, again, in space, that's not really true. Heat is just how the particles moving, right? If you've got a gravitational field that is pulling them down, they can only go so far up and they'll be pulled back down.
Yeah. I was going to say, guys, in a couple of minutes, I'm going to bring this to a close. I'm obviously conscious of giving you time to set up. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you what, I think you're probably the only one in the chat there, True Tech. I'm going to post a link. Let's see if you want to come over and join us in a few minutes on Dave's watch Dave's stream. We do the critical questions. So we'll probably bring it. So we're probably going to bring us to an end in a minute. So, so before we do, Jen, you got anything coming up video-wise this week? You're releasing? Or?
Yeah, I'll be releasing a video on quackery. There's a quack who's been saying some ridiculous shit, and I'm going to be doing a debunk on that. I'm thinking I might do another Flat Earther video at some point as well, and I'm interested in getting a couple of videos out this week. I'm also supposedly being interviewed by Badger, but as he hasn't actually talked to me to organize when he wants to do it, I don't know when that's happening.
Yeah, probably 6 months' time.
Yeah, probably 6 months' time. This is Badger we're talking about. I'm also there's a six-pack on tomorrow night, which as I said earlier to you, Jeff, I'm not exactly sure where that's going to end up, because that could be interesting.
Okay, yeah.
And then next week, I have a show on depression and anxiety and coping with it with COVID. My guests for that are Donna, Shannon Q, and Raven as Jay's wife. So that should be a really interesting topic.
And also yourself, Dave, you've got your regular quiz coming up throughout the week.
Yes. Yeah. I am potentially doing an evening one. People are kicking me to do an evening one. I'm not sure how I'll survive it, but
yeah. This is it. You're needed during the crisis here, Dave.
I'm surprised how many people want it. It's not that. It's a fun waste of time, but it's not that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun waste of Tim.
Well, that being said, in about just under 15 minutes or so, Dave will be starting his quiz up. So just everyone who's watching this, I'm sure I think he's pretty much True Tech at this point. Start heading over to Dave's. To Dave's. I did post the link in the chat. I'll post it one more time. Okay. So see you guys later then. All right. So,
see ya. Bye.